Calorific value. The term calorific value, it is the term with the help of which we measure the amount of heat produced. So calorific value, if I have to define the term calorific value is the amount of heat released by complete combustion of 1 kg of fuel. So we take a fuel, it should be 1 kg. So we try to burn it, complete combustion, we try to burn it, and we try to calculate the amount of energy produced. That is your calorific value. So we might be taking two different fuels, both of same weight, 1 kg, and we'll be burning both the fuels. The amount of energy it produces, that is your calorific value. Now in order to measure the amount of heat produced, we will be requiring a unit. Like in order to calculate weight, we use kg. In order to calculate time, we use second. So in order to calculate heat, we require a unit, that is your joule, or in some cases we also require calorie. Now this joule and calorie both are the same unit. So there is a relationship which they share, that is 1 calorie is equal to 4.18 joule, or you can simply write 4.2 joule. So 1 calorie has 4.2 joule. So in the same way, like if some substance, if some fuel, it is producing energy, so the energy is measured in the term calorie or joule. So different fuels, they have different calorific value. Again I'll explain it. Calorific value is the amount of heat produced by fuel, 1 kg of fuel. So it is measured by a term, that is your joule or calorie. Now I explained you about fuels, about the efficiency of fuel. Now we are going to see some of the harmful effects of fuel. We'll see what will happen when we use excessive amounts of fuel. So using fuel at excess amount is not good for us. So there are various reasons. It is also one of the major causes of our environment being polluted. So first one, I'll just explain you. Harmful effects of burning fuel. So whenever we are burning fuel, let us say coal and petroleum, so large amount of gases are released in the atmosphere, and these gases are not good. So I would mention some of the name: sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, so sometimes it might be nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen trioxide. Then you also have carbon dioxide and the very poisonous carbon monoxide. So these are some of the gases which are released whenever we are burning fuel and petroleum. So when these gases, they mix with atmosphere, they make the atmosphere very much polluted. Now this, whenever our environment are polluted, we human beings as well as animals are affected. And we also see that this carbon dioxide, it is one of the major greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide is one of the major greenhouse gases. Now let us understand what is greenhouse effect. So greenhouse effect, I hope everyone knows it, but still I'll explain you. Usually in the one who have the hobby of planting, like who have the hobby of plant collection and all, like who loves to do gardening and all, usually they have varieties of plants with them. They have varieties of different kind of plants. So usually they keep the plants in a house made out of plastic. they keep the plants inside this house. So what it does, whenever the rays of the suns are coming, it enters this greenhouse, and while it try to reflect it, it again bounces inside the greenhouse. So that is the reason why your greenhouse is very hot. I hope if you get the opportunity to see a greenhouse, don't miss the opportunity of going inside a greenhouse. You will find that the temperature inside the greenhouse is very much high. So with this, whenever we are entering the greenhouse, the temperature out inside the greenhouse will be very much high. So same effect can be observed out here. So this is our earth. So whenever the rays from the sun is coming towards the earth, gases along with carbon dioxide, other gases, which even includes your water vapors and all, so they'll form a layer out here like a greenhouse. So the rays of the sun, when strike the earth, it will try to reflect back, but again it will be reflecting inside it, and it will be reflecting in this manner. So what will this do? It will increase the amount of temperature of the earth. So once the first time it strikes the earth, it increases the temperature. Again it try to reflect and go outside the atmosphere of earth, but because of the layer, it will again reflect inside. Again with this, the temperature of the earth is increasing, and so on. At the end, the temperature of the earth will increase drastically, which will ultimately lead to greenhouse effect. Now once greenhouse effect is observed, what will happen? The temperature of the earth will increase, polar ice caps will melt, and which will be causing submerging of coastal areas. And not only that, there might be some seasonal change and all. So ultimately you see, this small effect can lead to a drastic effect, and with this, once the seasonal changes will be occurring, different kind of diseases will occur, and in some cases some migratory birds and all, they might also go for extinction. Because of seasonal change, the time of migration might differ, with which there might be some extinctions and all. So this is one of the cause. Now next cause, we see these gases which are released. The gases which are released, these are not good gases, they are very poisonous. So once human being, they consume these gases, it might lead to some respiratory disease. The most common one is asthmas and all. And this carbon monoxide, this is very poisonous gas. So there was an incident which said that like this carbon monoxide, it is usually released from the normal coals and all. So there was an incident where a family, during the time of winter, they were burning some coal in order to warm themselves, and it was at night time, and suddenly all the family, they fell asleep. But the mistake which they did was, they didn't let any air enter the house, or let's say not a single ventilation was open. What happened? Inside the house, all the carbon monoxide gas was produced. Since there was no outlet, or there was no area for carbon monoxide gas to pass through, all the family, they consumed this carbon monoxide gas, and in the morning no one was alive. So you see that this carbon monoxide, it is a very poisonous gas, and it will be causing some respiratory problems as well. Now another point, oxides of sulfur. These oxides of sulfur, these are also very harmful. So whenever these oxides of sulfur, whenever they are released in the atmosphere, they mix with the moisture in the atmosphere, and some different kind of thing will occur, which is known as the acid rain. Now acid rain, what will happen? The rain which we observe during acid rain is quite different than normal rain. Why? Because at that time, in that rain, oxides of sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, these oxides will mix with water, and they'll be forming acids. They'll be forming acids like this, sulfuric acids, which is a very dangerous acid. And again, if possible, they might also form nitric acids. These are very harmful acids. So whenever these oxides of sulfur, they mix with the moisture or water present in the atmosphere, these acids are formed, and while raining, instead of water, this kind of substance will rain. So these are very harmful for human beings, so as well as plants and animals. So plants and animals, when they perceive this kind of rainfall, they get destroyed. And not only that, even houses and all, the famous Taj Mahal, which is made out of marble. So if we compare the Taj Mahal which is present right now, and if we compare it like 20-25 years back Taj Mahal, we see that there is a vast difference in Taj Mahal, not in the structure but the color. You will find that the marble of Taj Mahal is affected with acid rain, and it's no more white but yellowish in color. So this is another effect of burning fuels. Now last one, these fossil fuels are not obtained in trees and all. So in order to obtain this fossil fuel, some mining process needs to be done. So you have to, so in order to obtain this fossil and fuel, usually this is ground, so some mining needs to be done. So if the fossil fuel is present out here, mining needs to be done, and you have to reach this area to obtain this fossil and fuels. And in order to do mining, human beings works is required. So usually while mining and all, they will be remaining inside the earth. They have to usually go deep inside the earth, and they have to go for mining. And while mining, there's every possibility is that the one who is doing this job will have various problems. First of all, the respiratory problem, because he will be remaining inside the earth and continue mining, so dust will be everywhere around him. So while mining and all, his respiratory tract will be affected, and continuous noise inside the earth, like all the machineries and all. So he might even have some problem with his ears, so hearing loss ultimately. And finally, because of this continuous smogs and all the pollution inside the earth, he will be suffering from respiratory problem, which ultimately makes this job very dangerous. So with this, I would like to end the chapter out here. So as the time proceeds, we will be continuing the chapter. Till then, thank you.